The chronicles of history have the names of several glorious empires. The Roman Empire is one of them. Spread across 50 modern-day nations, it occupied a vast territory around the Mediterranean Sea. Beginning in 753 BC as a small settlement, it flourished into a kingdom, a republic, and then an empire that lasted over a millennium. Its influence on the law, administration, art, architecture, and engineering of the modern nations is undeniable. Hi friends, my name is Akhilanand Singh. We are starting a series on Roman Empire with this video. The topics we are going to talk about in this video series are foundation of the Roman Empire, its administration, crisis of the 3rd century, life of ordinary people, the Roman economy, and fall of the empire. There are three main sources of information about the Roman history. The first is the textual annals written by the contemporary historians. The second source is the inscriptions written on monuments. Material remains of the period are the third source of information. The textual history was written on the paper made out of stem of the papyrus plant. The Roman Empire was initially a small kingdom. The kingdom existed for 244 years, which transformed into a republic and remained so for 488 years. It became an empire in the year 27 BC. The Roman Kingdom. History of the initial years of the Roman Kingdom is not available in the written form. As per the legend, the infant twin brothers Romulus and Remus were raised by a she-wolf and later by a shepherd when they were found in a basket floating in the Tiber river. The kingdom started off with a small settlement in a place surrounded by 7 hills in central Italy. The settlement was named Rome after Romulus. The settlement attracted all kinds of people from nearby areas, and soon they formed a kingdom naming Romulus the first king. Romulus turned out to be a good ruler. He established a senate which was a board of noble people whose job was to advise the king. The senate had 300 members. The senate was also responsible for electing a king. The kingdom remained in existence for 244 years. The last king was a cruel tyrant named Superbus who was overthrown by a popular uprising in the year 509 BC. The Roman Republic. Rome became a republic in the year 509 BC. In Republic, the Senate selected a consul in place of a king for a period of 1 year. The tenure of 1 year prevented consuls from becoming tyrant. Lucius Brutus was the first consul of the Republic. The consul and the Senate used to administer the Republic through provincial governors. The provincial governors were also the army commanders. The Roman Republic society was divided into two classes, the patricians and the plebeians. Patricians were the rich people who lived in big houses. They had the voting rights for electing the members of the Senate. Plebeians were poor people comprising of farm laborers, construction workers, small artisans, and also the slaves. Plebeians had no voting rights. Marriage between patricians and plebeians was prohibited. The Roman Republic grew from being a small city-state to a dominant political and economic player over the entire Mediterranean world. You can see 3 maps of the Roman Republic on your screen in the 4th, the 3rd, and the 1st century BC. Republic to Empire. Troubles started brewing in the Roman Republic from the late 2nd century BC. The Senate often used to delay decisions on the matters of importance. The consuls had little trust on the Senate. Food shortage, disease, and internal conflicts became a regular affair. 3 wars were fought with the Carthaginian Empire. The Gauls, the Germanic, and the Britannic tribes were also at wars with the Republic. In the year 44 BC, the army commander and the dictator Julius Caesar was assassinated by some members of the Senate. This caused great public unrest and political turmoil, leading to the end of the Republic and the establishment of the rule by the emperor. The Roman Empire was established in 27 BC and it stayed in united form up to 395 AD. Augustus was the first emperor. The empire reached its territorial peak in the year 117 AD when it occupied an area over 5 million square kilometers and it comprised of the 20% of the world's population. Look at the map on the screen. The Rhine River, the Danube River, and the Black Sea marked the northern boundary of the empire. It touched the Sahara Desert in the south. The Iranian Empire was its neighbor in the east and it stretched up to the Atlantic Ocean in the west. Rome, Alexandria, Antioch, Constantinople, Carthage, Valencia, and Londonium were its important cities. Many of these names have changed in the modern times. Londonium is known as London today, Constantinople is today's Istanbul, and the modern name of Carthage is Tunis. Let's learn about the external challenges to the Roman Empire. The Iranian empires, who were known as the Parthian Empire in the initial days and the Sasanian empires in the later days, were a constant threat. The empire had tangled with the Germanic tribes for centuries. Roman people called them barbarians. Lombards in the north, Goths in the northwest, and Vandals in south often encroached the Roman borders. Components of the Roman Empire. Let's now understand how the Roman people were governed and what was their social structure. The emperor was the ultimate authority assisted by the Senate. The third pillar of the administration was the army. Both the Senate and the army were important for the emperor, but the army played a more significant role with time. The social groups of patricians and plebeians still existed, but the patricians class now comprised of three types of people. They were the senators, the equestrians, and the rich elite. Plebeians were poor people working at farms, mines, construction sites, and industries as laborers. They were also called humiliores. Slaves were at the bottom of the society and they were a part of the plebeians. The Roman society was a tapestry of a vibrant culture. The Romans used to speak Latin, Greek, Aramaic, Coptic, Celtic, Punic, and Barbaric languages. Territories of the Roman Empire were organized in the administrative regions called provinces. The early Roman Empire. Initially, the vast empire was ruled indirectly through the local small kingdoms who paid tax to the empire. Gradually, these small kingdoms were absorbed into the empire and they were called provinces. The provincial countryside was taxed by the provincial governors located in the nearby cities. Provinces were a major component of empire's income. The provincial upper class started occupying important positions in the army and also in the government throughout the 2nd and the 3rd centuries. As this new group emerged, the Emperor Gallienus consolidated their rise to power by excluding senators from military command. Earlier, the Senate was dominated by Italians only, and they also constituted a major part of the army. Pax Romana. Pax Romana is the name given to the period between 27 BC to 180 AD. It was the golden period of prosperity, peace, order, stability, and regional expansion. During the Pax Romana period only, the empire reached its territorial peak when Trajan was the emperor. The period saw the development of a vast road network and construction of aqueducts to supply water to cities. Many architectural masterpieces were built. The world-famous Colosseum was constructed between 72 and 80 AD. It is the largest amphitheater ever built and is still the largest standing amphitheater in the world. Pax Romana was truly the golden period of the Roman Empire. But the death of the emperor Marcus Aurelius cast dark clouds on the sky of the empire. The empire went into its existential crisis between the years 235 and 284 AD. What was this existential crisis and how did the empire manage to overcome it? We will talk about that in the next videos of this series. Stay tuned.